Okay, so this is the unboxing portion of the Vitrix Pro BFG. As you see, this is the box right here. So this controller is advertised to be for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and also for the PC as well. That's the main reason why I got this controller, is because I wanted a module wireless controller for PC. So without further ado, let's try to open this up. Looks like we got a seal right here. You could just cut seal right here. Just got to cut this. All right, it's a little bit of work. Come on, slide off. I gotta say, for packaging like this is like on extremely tight. All right guys, I finally got it. So that took a lot of work, but here we go. All right, so it looks like we get a case and a booklet. So it looks like you get a booklet that says "Scan Me," and yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, just scan me and find out. So it looks like this pamphlet just tells you to scan the QR code right here, and then basically you'll figure out how to do everything with this controller. So, oh, exclusive offer, 20% off. Sign up to unlock new discounts and product information. Okay, cool. So, put this to the side. We have our controller itself, which the case, ooh, this case actually feels so nice. I like the case. And here we have the controller itself. All right. Oh, little plastic around the rubber grip. So let's just move this out the way. So first, holding this controller in my hand, it's actually very comfortable. I like it. The joystick feels really nice. The X circle square triangle, it feels nice. It's nothing to scoff about. It's like, it's definitely feels really nice. The D-pad, I like the D-pad. It feels nice. So even though it is really soft clicks, but you could actually feel the clicks of the inputs, and the doing this circular motion on the D-pad to like roll and do stuff is not too bad. So you can definitely hit those diagonal things no problem. And you could definitely feel that full click. The triggers, ooh, that is loose. Talk about some loosey-goosey triggers. These are extremely loose, like super loose. L1, R1, they feel fine, nothing to scoff about. Looks like here you have a switch. Oh, a USB-C cable for charging, and it looks like the switch is for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and for PC, which I'm going to be using it for. So also on the back of the controller, you have the 4 mappable buttons, which I can honestly say they do feel really nice. Wow. My hands actually fit comfortably on all 4 of the buttons, where I can push all 4 of them individually without you doing the whole thing switching between 2 fingers. So good job. Good job, Vitrix. That's really nice. Like that. And also it looks like there's a headphone jack right here for 3.5mm headphone jack. Not sure if audio will work as well. We'll find out about that. This looks like a wireless mode and I guess wire mode. Not sure. I'll figure this out. Oh, and it looks like it has trigger stoppers. Oh. So I get it now. So it looks like basically wherever you pull the trigger stoppers at, that's will activate the trigger stopper. So that right here, and you can set them for wherever you want. So that's pretty cool too. But overall, yeah, this controller is actually really nice. Look to the side, it looks like you also get a braided USB cable. Really nice. Hold on. If I can get this out. There we go, got it. All right, so yeah, you get a USB-C to USB-A cable, and it's a very, very, very long cable. Looks like this might be 3 meters, which is actually really good. If you look in the case here, you'll see that there's a screwdriver here. The nest for taking apart this controller to move all the parts around. You get 2 different size joysticks, which this one's concave, and this one is like more of a dome look, so pretty cool. You get 2 different types of D-pads. This is actually really cool, so that you have the option of what type of D-pad you want to use. Actually, I kind of like this D-pad. This D-pad right here is really cool. And you also get the accessories of, oh wait, switching out the this side with the right stick and the ABXY with this fighter pack right here, which is I think is really cool. And what's this? Oh, cool, more rings for your joysticks, so that way they can have something to go around. And you get the dongle itself, which the dongle is nothing to scoff at, it's just a regular dongle. But yeah, this controller came with a lot of stuff. Like, I'm talking like jam-packed with D-pads. I'm talking about little different size joysticks. You got this really long braided cable for a bay tray area for USB cable. Got your dongle that you could, hold on. Got your dongle that you can sit in right here, and you got your controller that you can put back in. So yeah, let's hook this controller up. Definitely do some more like analog stick testing. Start playing with this controller and see how this controller really feels, because I'm actually really excited for this controller. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this video. All right guys, so real quick, I'm gonna show you all the different configurations you could do with this controller as far as the module parts of this controller. So first things first, the left module parts are held in by 2 screws. So all you have to do is unscrew this. Once unscrewed, you could just pull this off and you can switch this over to more of a PlayStation layout if you like the PlayStation, or you could turn it back to the Xbox layout. As soon as you place it back, all you have to do is just scroll in. I usually do 2 full 360 turns each side just to make sure that it goes in leveled. And there you go. Now the controller is switched over to more of a PlayStation layout. For the right side of the joystick, you can actually unscrew this with these 2 screws. Now you cannot flip this one around, but you can replace it with a fighter's pack. So once you get this part completely screwed off, oh wait, I got one more screw. Once you get this part put out, you can replace this with the fighter's pack. Screw it in. And there you have it. Now you are ready for fighting games. So with this in mind, you probably have a total of 4 different configurations you could do with this controller, where you can have the D-pad lowered, or you can have the D-pad up here, or you can have the Xbox layout with the original pad, or you can have the PlayStation layout with the original pad. I also wanted to bring up something about this Vitrix BFG controller. When using this controller in the PlayStation layout, you will actually notice that the 2 sticks are a little bit closer together compared to my original DualSense controller. And for some people, this may be an issue, because if you are someone who places the middle of your thumb on top of joysticks, you may run into an issue where your thumbs may be touching tips. But usually for me, I haven't experienced this issue, because most of the time when I'm using 2 analog sticks like in this configuration, I usually use a tip of my thumb. So if you're someone who likes to use the middle of your thumbs for your joysticks, then you may possibly touch tips. But if you're someone who uses tips of your thumbs to control the analog sticks, you should have no problem whatsoever. So anyway, moving along with the video. Okay guys, so here we are in Gamepad Tester to test out the joystick accuracy of this joysticks right here. So as you see, as I move the sticks around, looks like the sticks snap right back at 0.0002, which is a really good sign. I can see a little bit of an error rate just without even starting the circularity test, but let's do the test and let's see what we get. Test is turned on. So,
Looks like the left stick has an error rate of 7.1 for its score, and it looks like the right joystick has an error rate of 9.6 for its score. So overall, I have to say, like, these are pretty decent joysticks. I mean, it looks like that overall the circle is pretty evened out with some of the dead zones where it doesn't register the input. But I have to say, like, yeah, these are pretty decent joysticks overall. Without further ado though, let's do the input latency test and see how the input is for this controller. Alright guys, so here we are in X input tester. So we're going to be testing the input latency of this controller. So first I'm going to start off with using this controller in wireless mode to see how fast is this controller as far as input latency goes. So let's get my thumb ready and here we go. Alright, I'm seeing a lot of sevens. A lot of sevens. Alright, and it's going. And I got my results here. So looking at my results, it looks like I got a 7.87 milliseconds input latency, the pulling rate of 126.91, which I'm just going to say around 127. I guess this was averaging around 125 input pulling rate with the 8 millisecond input latency. And going down this list, it looks like I'll see a lot of 7.84s, a lot of 7.89s, with a couple of outliers, I guess, which will be the 11 millisecond ones. Nothing too bad. It seems pretty consistent with the 8 milliseconds of input latency, which is a good thing. I would like it for it to be consistent. But let's try the wired connection, see how the input latency works for a wire connection. Alright guys, so here we are. Now I have the controller with a wire connection, so let's test out the input latency using a wire connection. Wow, even with a wire connection, this controller has about a 7.88, around, I guess 7.89, so I guess an 8 millisecond input delay with 126 pulling rate. So yeah, this is a solid connection, and honestly this is actually a lot more cleaned up on a wire connection compared to the wireless. So I'll definitely have to say, like, yeah, so this controller is definitely 8 milliseconds response time, so not too bad. I mean, most people are not going to notice this, but yeah, definitely a lot more cleaned up with the wire connection compared to the wireless connection. I also just tried overclocking this controller and it does nothing to this controller whatsoever. It seems like this controller is locked at a pulling rate of 125, around 126 pulling rate, and with a average input latency of 8.0. So yeah, overclocking this controller does nothing. This controller also comes with its own software that's called the Vitrix Control Hub, which you can download off the Windows Store. So with this software, you are actually able to configure all of the buttons on this controller and remap all the buttons if you want to. This also includes remapping all the back buttons on this controller. You also can configure the analog sticks on this controller and try to recalibrate the joystick. So if you want a better joystick accuracy or your joysticks are very inaccurate, you could try using this software and the software methods of recalibrating the controller's joysticks. You also can adjust the trigger sensitivity and you can control the audio settings for this controller. Overall, I have to say, like, this software is actually really basic for this controller. And another cool thing about this controller I realized I learned from the software is that the back button right here is actually a profile button. So if you push this twice, you will actually switch amongst one of the three profiles. So basically you can set the controller for different settings, and setting it for different settings will allow you to save those settings underneath that profile, and you could switch from the profiles whenever you want. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this software. It's pretty like basic software, but it gets the job done. So I've been using the Vitrix Pro BFG controller for about a month now, and these are my thoughts on this controller. So when I first put my hands on this controller, I have to say that this controller does feel cheap at first, but this controller is extremely comfortable in the hands. When I was playing first-person shooters with this controller, I have to say, like, I really do enjoy using this controller. I also like the fact that all my fingers on this controller can comfortably sit on top of all four of the back buttons. So it makes it very accessible for me to use the back buttons when playing FPS games like Call of Duty. Using the fighter pack on this controller while playing Tekken 7, I have to say, I think the fighter pack is cool. Overall, I do like it. I do like the fact that the size of the buttons for the mechanical keys, and also that the fact that the fighter pack is mechanical keys. And the only thing that I wish for this controller is that the buttons on the module were a little bit higher. It's a little low for me personally, and that's just me. That's just for me personally. I wish their buttons were a little bit higher, but that's like a small little gripe with the fighter module pack. So there you got that. Also, with this controller coming with a carrying case, 2 different types of D-pads, you also have your joystick modules and a long braided USB-C to USB-A cable. I have to say, like, you are getting a lot out of your money. The only thing that I wish for this controller is the fact that you should have a way of buying all the module pieces separately, which I noticed that you cannot buy on the market currently. So if you want to get this controller thinking that you could just replace module pieces for if you were to get stick drift or something, I don't think that that is really the reason why this controller is a module controller to begin with. This controller does come with a warranty, so I guess if one of your module pieces does mess up, you can, if you're within the warranty, you can call up that warranty. Also, I do have mixed feelings about the trigger stoppers on this controller. So this is supposed to be like a 5-way trigger stoppers for this controller, and honestly, like, it feels like more like a 3-way trigger stop for this controller, and the triggers just feel really cheap on this controller. But I have to say, even with that, like, this is a very comfortable controller to hold in the hands and to use while gaming. So if I was to give this controller a rating from 1 through 10, honestly, for $180 and for all the accessories you get with this controller, I'll give this controller solid 8 out of 10. It is a comfortable controller to use. Yes, the controller feels really cheap, but for all that you're getting, I can't complain too much. It is a very comfortable controller, one of the few comfortable controllers where I could place all 4 of my fingers on all 4 of the back buttons with no issues. And yeah, if you are looking for a module controller for PC, PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5, yeah, this is actually a really good option. As long as you're not looking for a module controller to have replacement parts, because I don't think that this module controller is made module to fix stick drift. It's just module for more accessibility. So yep, those are all my thoughts. The Vitrix Pro BFG controller, 8 out of 10. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. If you made it this far in the video and you like this controller review, you might as well hit that like button for me. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well, and also hit that notification bell to let you guys know when I post another controller review. I do have a couple of controllers that I'm going to review, and it's going to be more so on a budget friendly side, because I realize I've been doing these like high tier controllers, and there's some budget friendly ones that I think deserve some love that I have noticed I haven't been getting too much love lately. So definitely like this review if you like it. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We are in the summertime, so remember guys, enjoy the sun, stay cool, and I will see you next time. Peace.